And we're live! Hello, everyone.
No.
Ah!
Hold on, how's that sound?
Yeah, it sounds good.
I can't hear any. Oh, right.
You not hear
Muted.
yourself? You're muted.
I was muted.
You're muted. Okay. Well,
Which, good.
I mean, yeah. Hi. Hello, everyone. Okay, cool. So, we're in fucking business is what we are. We have our playtesters. We're starting next week.
How are you doing?
I'm a little nervous. This is the first time that I've ever GM'd on any kind of a public platform before. I've GM'd quite a bit, private games and all that. But
The combat playtest.
We did do the combat playtest. I don't know, that's not exactly the same because I'm not really handling any of the big narrative stuff that comes with like a full adventure set. So like that's like a little bit of nerves for sure, but I don't know.
It's the introduction of our world, and I'm very excited you get to do it.
I think that's honestly what it is it's like obviously we're going to change stuff regardless of what is said or what is not said, but like the fact that I'm going to be setting that initial tone is very intimidating for it being a brand new project and something that we're both very close to and that we worked on for like a year. Yeah, like that's a little bit much.
Sure. I mean, I'll be there to back you up for sure. If anyone gives you shit,
hell yeah, you will. that is your main job. We actually also need to talk. I may relegate stream duties to you for this. I don't know.
You'll have to give me the lowdown this weekend.
Yeah, no, I mean, we can talk about it one way or the other, because one thing is I will have to have stream up on one of these monitors, which takes away a very big resource for me. Although I may not need it, because you've been doing some baller fucking work over like the last week.
I'm fucking in it right now.
Yeah, man.
You see, we have to start organizing that fucking because I'm dropping shit.
We do. We very much do. Let me show you guys what Corey has been up to for the last little while here. So the first thing, and we showed the version 1 of this earlier, I think last stream, but we now have...
It's by Reddit.
Yeah, Reddit.
I got fucking bodied.
Reddit tore Corey apart, and so he went back to the drawing board and came up with what I legitimately think is a way better, way sleeker looking character sheet. So we've got like all of the stuff that was on here before, but it's just presented a little bit more neatly. We've got masteries, which I think, was that on the old sheet or was that on the new one? Corey?
I'm right here. Did you not hear me?
No, this is what I was saying before we got on stream. Like, your sound cuts out at like weird times.
That's weird. Maybe I could, hold on. I could go to my sound setting, and I wonder if it's like not hearing anything for a second. Device manager. I wonder if I just set my device manager and go to my audio inputs and outputs. Microphone. I'd like to set my headphones as the microphone. Well, I don't know how to do that right now.
It's fine. We'll get through this stream on it, and I mean, I think we're probably gonna do a couple like last meetings over the weekend, anyways, so we can work it out then. Masteries though, was that on the old sheet?
Yeah, everything here actually was on the old sheet. It's just I kind of changed the design. I mean, like, this is printer friendly, more printer friendly, anyways. I still might have to play around with opacity and stuff. Like, there are some things like I'm a little nervous about, especially like The V logo I might have to bring down in opacity because you see how it like goes through 2 layers there. It gets kind of dark. I don't know. It was bothering me. Obviously, there's some things I'd like to do to see how, when these are written in, like if I could divvy out more like weapon spots, more armor spots, kind of stuff. So it's got all those prompts where you can write stuff in. But on a written character sheet, that shit's a little hard.
Yeah.
Well, because in Roll20, you know, I could just like...
It doesn't matter.
Like you can pop in another armor slot.
Right.
Not the case here. But, I mean, like, everything is like one design principle. It's not garish. Everything is evenly spaced. All the letters are weighted properly. There's no stretching or smushing. It is like... It's crisp, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's really it. Is like it's very clean, and it's the beginning of a uniform look that like you've done a very good job at cultivating with these things. Let's go to the caravan sheet, which has obviously the exact same kind of feel to it. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it's an L. Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Now, this for me was one of the coolest parts because, like, we are finally getting to... I think I brought this up on our last stream, is like, we're finally getting to see how a lot of the mechanics that we've been floating around actually implement in the game and, like, where they show up and what you're looking at, which has made such a huge difference in terms of, like, how I'm writing the book. I've gone back and I've had to re-edit like multiple sections to try and make them fit what the reality of this game actually is going to be. But it's been very cool seeing this, especially.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple things here that I'm hoping like don't need a prompt, and I'm gonna see how they fly. Like the rating for your caravan system, I did up top. Like I'm hoping that doesn't shine through as a border. Like you're always going to have at least one rating, or else your caravan's over. So I put the star in, and that was like kind of being like, okay, visual idea. You know that there's a star rating for caravans. You see 1 star. Logically, I think you'd fill in the rest of them. Let's see how that works. I think like having the resource pool right there makes sense. Like,
yeah.
Hopefully.
I think so. I actually have some ideas on how to handle the resource pool for the playtest, but this is still going to be a great thing to have. The question that I'm really grappling with on this is, I mean, how do we implement... It's going to be 1 sheet for the caravan, but we have to have it spread out amongst 4 players and 1 archivist.
I can track it for the playtest for ease of use.
That might be the way to do it.
I can track it and follow along, and what we should probably do is delineate it to one of the players. Because that would be more akin to an actual play session. Yeah. And I can just follow along and make sure that it doesn't get, confusing.
Yeah. Another thing I was also thinking is I might set a scene in Roll20 or a page specifically with this as the background and then just putting text over it. It's going to prevent the players from being able to get to it when they need it. But like I can switch them over to it if they need to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, there's... I think maybe that... If you make me the GM on Roll20... You know what? That's going to be too much for you to take care of, I think. You already have a lot on your plate. Give me the backup sheet. We'll have one of the players track it.
Okay.
And then... Yeah, because anything I can take off your hands to make life easier.
Cool. All right, so that works. Anyways, look at this pretty ass sheet, y'all. And then look at what he did next, because this is where shit gets wild. Because I haven't even seen the player tracker yet. I want to open this. So he's made Oh, sick. Okay, cool. Yeah. So he's made a reference sheet basically for me to use as player to track players and stuff, tracking health nodes, armor nodes, how much damage is the damage like for the damage on their weapon, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But like he's also made where are these?
Note on this. These are probably the size that I am going to turn the NPC cards to, because when we're arranging these for print, we're going to need something that is A, scannable, and B, you're going to be able to print and like not get eaten up by that binding. The book binding.
Yeah.
So these are the size about the player tracker, the size they're going to have to be. The NPC ones are a little too big.
Yeah.
So
okay,
that is what we're working with. Oh, we'll see how they work. Like they're smaller. It definitely it's size 7 and 9 font. So like it is small. But we'll see how it works.
Yeah, absolutely. If nothing else, I mean, it'll be a good quick use resource, and it's one of those things where like we're playtesting a lot of stuff here. If we find out that something doesn't work, or if it needs modification, if it needs to be bigger, cool. That's something that we know. Yeah.
Can you open that back up?
Yeah, absolutely. What you thinking?
Want to see something? I think Affinity... Yeah, Affinity fucked up my logo in the back.
How so?
It's all pixelated.
Oh, you're right, it is.
Yeah, don't use those. I'll reprint those.
Just do me a favor and delete the old ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
What? What?
What? Is there a problem?
Lunatic favors are slowly seeping into your life.
And then he made these, which I'm also in love with. The NPC card looks beautiful. I especially love, like, this is what I was talking about before, where like the game starts making sense when I'm looking at the card. The favor disfavor track, I gotta tell you, I had pictured it on like a sliding like spectrum of like favor and disfavor, and like your thing goes in between them. I didn't realize that you had meant doing like separate favor and disfavor tracks. And looking back on it, looking at this card has made so many of our conversations make so much more sense.
Nice.
Because I remember the whole time sitting there and like listening to you talk about favor and disfavor. I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like, how can you have like points in favor and disfavor? Because like with my idea, that doesn't fucking work.
Right.
So like this is like a perfect example of what what I was talking about. I did want to ask you, what's look? Is that just like a basic description?
Yeah, basic description,
okay.
Just like what they look like. Like info being like information they might have, Bane being things that they hate, values being things that they cherish, motives being, what their motive is. Like, this is how I plan NPCs.
Yeah.
In my home games. Like, I essentially do this.
This is a cool look behind the curtain for me then.
Yeah. They all like have a look and a desire, and like they all have motives.
So you're telling me that when I meet one of your NPCs, usually this is what you have in front of you?
I have a template of some kind, yeah, that like tracks everything.
But like, is it usually this small? It's usually that limited?
I mean, no. I mean, like, here's the thing. Yes, because I don't fill out that much.
Yeah.
But it depends on the NPC. Like, I use Scrivener, so I have a whole page, but I do, like, I'm lazy, so I don't fill in that much.
Right. Okay, gotcha. So it's not, your NPCs, and I've talked about this before, like, your NPCs are incredibly detailed. And so I was surprised if like that's all just coming straight out of you, or if it's not. But yeah, no, I was just curious.
So here's something I'm really happy about, and something I'm really stoked to be doing. Like, I'm doing a lot of physical set pieces for this game, and I don't know if all of them are going to work, but we've been talking a lot about not having a lot of GM tools, and I am now getting to do that side of things, and it's very, very exciting.
Yeah.
Because one thing that I'm really excited about in this game is how we have NPC stat blocks set up, where it's I don't think the math that we have is going to follow through to the end of the game. I think we'll have to change some things. Mostly because, it stacks, it grows exponentially so much.
Very
rolling
much.
a d12 with a plus 10 is a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, you could do this thing, where you can have, a rating for your contract, but, if you end up in a place that's not rated, you can just throw that CAPS sheet down, which I'm still going to design, throw a rating on that area, and then pull from the NPC stack of, NPCs that you have, and put someone on there, and now I know my merchant rolls a d6 with no modifiers.
Right.
I love that there's this, quick creation for NPCs and areas.
Yeah.
And I love that it's, super snappy to put together their stat block. And you can do it on the fly.
Yeah. Well, and, we've talked about this before, obviously IGM, obviously UGM. This is a game made by GMs, and, it's very exciting. I know that we've said from day one that we wanted to make resources for GMs when playing our games, because we both know going into so many new systems, they just don't give you a lot of the time. PBTA is it's a great pickup game or whatever, but if you're not familiar with it, they don't really have a lot of GM screens or anything like that. To help you with the rules. There's, I think Evil Hat made one, but other than
Evil
that,
Hat's pretty good about I'll say that they're pretty good about GM tools.
Yeah.
Monster of the Week's it's got a whole thing for putting people together.
Yeah. I don't know. Ruma didn't have shit, so
right.
I had to make my own.
That's the thing, PBTA largely up on the game designers, and I think Evil Hat does a good job.
Yeah.
But, anyone can fucking make a PBTA game, and a lot of people do.
Yeah.
What I like here, though, is, man, it just, because I'm going to drop the CAPS sheet, and my idea with that is to make it very simple, too. Area, date, known threats, unknown threats, star rating, and then treasures and information. And, that's it for the sheet, because I don't have to put NPCs on there, because you can just grab an NPC stat block and throw it on there. You don't even have to fucking throw bosses on, because you can make an NPC stat block for a boss and throw them on fucking any area.
Right. No, I mean, it's going to be, when it's fleshed out and when we have, especially that cat sheet done, it's going to be very snappy. And that, I think, is that's the thing that I like the most about it. Let's see. Have I shown all of the cards that you've made? I think that's it.
Yeah, I mean, you could show, the full, the idea of the page so you can print them and cut them out and,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so basically for all of the stuff that we have here, this is, our player sheet. This is the player card that we were showing you before. When you get the book, the idea is that it will come with sheets like this, where, for your players, you can literally just take this bad boy, and, if you have a little GM screen with, the little transparent sleeves, you can just slip that thing right in there, and it's just there for you, and you just have all of your player information in front of you. You can track people's health nodes, make sure that you don't accidentally kill somebody like I did that one time. It's just, I love the design aspect of this game. I love that it's snappy. I love that you're going to be able to have everything in front of you, which is just such a huge resource. We did the same. Sorry, go ahead.
Game. It's just starting to look like a full game.
Yeah, right. And we got the same thing here with NPC sheets. This especially is like a dream for me. Because especially with like L5R, like the amount of NPCs, especially like you guys right now are in Toshi Ranbo. It's a giant city with a fuck ton of important people in it. Yeah. Having something like this for L5R would have been amazing. It would have been like the dream. But yeah, no, it's a very cool little resource.
You basically apply it to factions too.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, that's the thing. Like, the whole set is very modular. Like, you can kind of plug and play stuff as you need to, and, like, that's sort of, like, the magic of this system. I think that's one of the things that makes the cat system really strong.
Yeah, I mean, it's it is an unintentional design goal that, like, we started leaning into. But I think, like, looking back at us playing games, it's not surprising, right? No. Like, we've always kind of included elements of modularity even in our home games. Like, the first time you GM Shadowrun.
What do you...
You had somebody roll charisma and knives, and it's my favorite roll that's ever happened.
That's right.
It's my favorite roll that's ever happened. Like, you played Shadowrun as this, like, modular system that I don't think was the intent, but worked super fluidly.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I've just always been a fan of it since then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was one of these things that, like, in the moment just kind of hit me, was like, oh, like, he doesn't have to roll talking, and he's not really talking anyways, so yeah, it's like charisma's like your social stat. You're definitely trying to, like, make a point to somebody, and you're doing it with a knife, so fucking charisma blades. Like,
charisma blades.
Charisma blades.
Charisma Blades sounds like a gangster from, like, the night. My name's Charisma Blades.
See, I was thinking Charisma Blades sounds like a stripper from, like, a cyberpunk world.
Yeah, both. I mean, it could be both. It could be.
Yeah, actually, that is the same. Yeah. That is the same person, right?
Yeah. She, like, I'm gonna write that down for cyberpunk.
Fucking do it, you coward. I dare you.
Their names... I mean, if you don't think I would include that in my game of Cyberpunk...
I see no reason why you would not include that in your game of Cyberpunk.
Oh, man.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
Like, I know we're just kind of maxing and relaxing right now, but, like...
Yeah.
We've done a lot of work, and, like... I don't know.
Yeah.
So right now, I'm going to create a sample, like a boilerplate contract and the like cat's sheet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to have those done. Well, I'm trying to have everything done in form fillable by Sunday. That's like my deadline.
Sick. That is.
Which, yeah.
Yeah, that is the ideal for sure.
Then I can start illustrating again because
I don't know if Elstragoon is with us right now, but would you like me to tell you about Elstragoon's character that he was telling me about when I was on his stream? He's been looking through our book, and he was like, yeah, I got really into, like, reading about the species and stuff. Cool. He's gonna be an Embryophyte.
Awesome.
Who is obsessed with the idea of overgrowth. And wants to find, like, a cure for it that doesn't involve elder abuse.
Yeah, in our world.
Yeah, it's a perfect fit. But I think, based on what he told me, he said he's going to be one of the ones that ride the elderly as transport. So I think he's going to be a rider of the breach, which I'm so excited about. I'm so excited. Fuck. Oh.
That's rad. I'm glad he, like, because that is one thing that I think is very fun about our universe is, like, these species designs that we've been, like, developing, like, in the last, like, couple weeks, especially.
Oh, man. We know so much. We know so much more about our species, like, just this last month, than we've known about them for, like, the last year before.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's very exciting. Ember fights fucking kick ass.
Yeah, I fucking love it. I dig the overgrowth shit.
Yeah, no, overgrowth was a very cool idea.
Did he mention what he was going to be for a province?
I think he's looking at a spoiler because he's trying to like research into overgrowth and like it's sort of like a fitting there. I don't know what he's gonna do for background, but
it's our least fleshed out section. Like
yeah, I was about to say. I think that's the thing that he. Yeah. That,
well, and like him asking that question just solidified it to me that we need to have the questions for each background.
Yeah, no, I think so. At the very least, we need to have unique questions for each of the 9, major things. Even if we don't have them for all 18 of the individual backgrounds.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, no, I'm so excited. It's gonna be so much fun. Like, I think that's the thing is, like, I'm nervous because, like, it's a new thing and I haven't GM'd on screen before. I've also GM'd long enough to know that, like, if it goes bad, just make it a fun car crash, right? Like, sometimes that's just all you can do. Like, so, fuck it. It's going to be entertaining one way or the other.
Yeah, man. Like, I don't know. Like, it's no biggie, you know? Like, you got this.
I mean, it's really not though. Like, it's not a big deal. It's a playtest first and foremost. So the answer really is I can put as much effort or as little effort into this as I want, as long as I'm, doing my basic job. I plan on putting a lot of effort into it.
Sure.
For all of you Fractured Fortune fans at home, I've been writing a ton of music that's going to go into this, so I hope you're ready. I wrote a sick piece with a didgeridoo that's just going to...
You mentioned this to me when I was in the bathroom at work, and you were like, I just wrote a fucking sick piece of didgeridoo. I was like...
It's going to fucking...
Cool day!
It's going to slap. So yeah, no, I'm very excited about it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I imagine that Adam is going to remake Hank.
Hell yeah, he is.
I see no other, like, I am like Doctor Strange in Endgame or Infinity War, except I've looked through like 14 million realities.
How many of them did he make, Hank?
All of them.
All of them.
Oh. Yep.
Well, he'll either make Hank or he'll make Dooner Brining.
The long lost son of, or the...
Oh yeah, that's right, because Dooner Brining is like a... He is inscribed in the lore somehow, right? He's like one of the rebels of Ishtas?
Yeah, one of the rebels of Ishtas.
Like, yeah, that's right. So he's already there.
Yeah, he's well removed.
Fuck, do we need to make a playable species for a Dooner?
Splat book. No, you cannot be a bug people. You can be one of the rats.
Oh, he's an Arashe. We have bug people.
Oh, yeah.
So Dooners are just like a subspecies or a sub-variation off of Arashe.
And the milkable beetles.
Give me that sweet beetle milk.
Were they electric? Something. They might have been both.
Man, yeah, I need to go hunt down the notes from our game of the Quiet Year.
The very quiet year, because my fucking mic was not like working for that first stream.
Yeah, for the first one, that's right.
Yeah.
We recorded a whole fucking like 2 hours, just no sound.
I've been like kind of brainstorming new game ideas too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're already moving on?
No, I mean, my brain's
I'm giving you shit. What's the idea?
Well, I've been like in the future, like in our home game, I've been thinking like, what am I going to run?
once Cyberpunk's done. Because, like, I don't know. Like, I've done a lot of different genres. I've done a lot of different systems. And,
Absolutely.
like, I want to find a system that, like, that splits the difference between, like, my mechanical interest and, like, one of our players, like, desire not to learn mechanics. So I am, like, I've been, like, one of my ideas was, like, playing, like, something in the Marvel Universe, playing, like, a superhero game.
Yeah.
There's Marvel Multiverse just came out. It's gotten, I mean, it's a playtest, so it's gotten kind of poor received, but it's also not done by any means, so who knows? It does feel like it might not be a good exemplifier of, here's the thing with superheroes games. It is either there is a lot of narrative purpose in which you can do, like, a lot of different things with your powers, which I think, like, appeals to, like, that Silver Age of comics where, like, they would come up with interesting ways to use their powers to overcome situations, and then you'd obviously have to reset power levels every issues and things like that because, that the issue is scalability of power levels. Or there's things like mutants and masterminds and champions, which, like, delineates very, very specifically what you can do, and you define that, but it's, like, very granular. Combat goes super slow because of it. So I've been like, oh, what up? What up?
What up, Elf Dragoon?
So I've been thinking about, like one thing we like in our games is, like, I'm not a big fan of setting agnostic systems, but I am fine with them if they are, like, if the theme is not agnostic, right? Like Savage Worlds does really well because it tells pulp stories, no matter what setting you're telling a Savage Worlds story.
Sure, yeah, I see what you mean.
The theme is always pulp, and so that carries through. But, like, game like GURPS, you can do everything, but, like, you, like, need these setting splat books, or else, like, there isn't a lot of flair and flavor going on.
Yeah.
But, so, like, I've been thinking a lot about, like, making, like, a maybe not setting agnostic, have, like, a stock setting, but have, like, a very theme-heavy supers game, where you have, like, instead of doing, like, power levels traditionally with, like, leveling up, you would, like, start to build out the universe, and you'd go through levels as, like, different scales of a superhero. So you'd have, like, emerging powers and origin stories. You'd have, like, low-level heroes. Then you'd have, like, team-ups and crossover events. And, like, building through to these big events, in which then you'd have to reset power levels by people dying, selling off their, like, bonds with relationships or people, yada, yada, that kind of thing.
All right,
Which I thought was an interesting way to deal with, like, power creep and climb by, like, changing the framing of the game instead of changing the power level of the player. And then I was also thinking about, like, well, I mean, like, bonds and stuff. I think a lot of Heroes games do that. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Sure.
But also, like, the idea of, like, having ideals and exhaustion. So, like, you have this was my idea for, like, power scaling, in that, like, you have a set amount of exhaustion, and every power costs exhaustion to use. The, like, more scaled your power is, the more powerful your power is, the more exhaustion it consumes. So you, like, you deplete quicker, so it kind of, like, self-regulates among players. Yeah. But also this idea of, like, when you have these moments, like in comic book movies and comic books, where ideals shift, like, you get ultra powered for that moment, and, like, you break through on these ideal shifts with, like, fucking blasting some dude in the face.
Okay.
I don't know.
But the short version of this is, your plan for when Cyberpunk is done is to make your own system that is...
God, no.
Oh, okay. So what's the system you're looking at?
I mean, I was looking at a bunch of different systems, but I think it would be fun if we designed a super system.
but not for your next game, just in general.
Yeah, just in general.
Okay, sick. Yeah, no, I'm absolutely down with that. I think that's fun as hell.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you know my jam is fantasy, so like fantasy and superpowers kind of go hand in hand. Like you change the lingo around a little bit. One is like, you know, forbidden ancient knowledge, and the other is like radioactivity. So like it's all the same ingredients, just different names. But yeah, no, I also know what I'm doing. Interestingly enough.
What do you mean? Oh shit!
What
are we looking at?
What?
I know you know what you're doing. I thought you were pulling something up to be like, I made a game. Look at this.
Fuck no, absolutely not.
I was like, what?
You think after everything I've learned about how hard it is to make a tabletop game that I would honestly be like, you know what I should do? The same thing, but by myself. No.
Look what I've been doing in the background.
Yeah, fuck that. No, I'm gonna do a limited run on the Old Gods of Appalachia thing.
Nice.
We'll do like a mini horror set at some point. I don't even think I'm gonna wait until L5R is done for that. I think I'm just gonna do it at some point in the relatively near future. And then when this is done, I actually think I'm gonna pick up the Avatar game and see if that. I've heard great fucking things about it. So I think I'm gonna pick up the Avatar game and take a look at that for a possible.
Isn't that is a PBTA, isn't it?
The Avatar game? Is it?
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, it's a Magpie Games.
Oh shit. Well,
yeah,
damn.
I'm pretty sure.
Well, if that's the case,
is.
then that's probably out for a longer campaign. If that's the case, I already learned my lesson on that one.
I might be wrong, but I think it is. Hey, Elster Good.
It is a Magpie game. Shit.
Holy shit! I did invent Clue.
Magpie's
I invented
publisher.
Clue.
I'll full up for a while.
Now I kind of want to watch Clue.
It's a great movie. You should watch it.
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie. Absolutely.
Hey, Elster, do you want to see all the physical stuff I've been designing and littering our fucking workbox with?
Yeah. So let's.
You know what's bullshit? I created a visuals folder and proceeded to not use it.
Oh my god. Yeah, you did. That's a thing you did. Okay, cool. So let's bring this back up here. So check this shit out. I know you saw our character sheet from last week, but this is like the new version that you will be playing with next week. Elstragoon is one of our play testers starting next week. So very excited to have you on the stream. But yeah, it's I don't know, Corey, walk him through it. This is your baby. This is your shit.
I use two fonts. One is kind of fancy, and one is very readable. And then I put our background into that. I mean, like, I don't know. I think it, like, holds up to the aesthetic of, like, rebuilding after the apocalypse kind of shit. Hell yeah, you're gonna fill that shit out. So the idea of, like, modularity, everything is, like, that you would roll is pretty much on this first page, right? Like, your skills, approaches, and then traits, all of those which would be added up into a roll right here. So, like, if you're like, you know, roll a clockwork brutality with your armorer trait, like, you bump, 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 roll that shit.
Skullduggery is a trait that, or a skill that we took from L5R, and it is Corey's favorite skill in that game.
It's a word. I didn't take it from shit. I took it from the dictionary. I did.
It's your crime skill.
Crime skill. It's how I do crimes.
We actually should have just named it crime.
Crimes is cool. Is very cool.
It's very
like
cool. It's very rad.
What's this? Roll crimes. Want to make a fucking game where you're all fucking bandits and all you do is roll crimes.
Yeah, exactly. All the points in crime, please. So yeah, I mean, like, this is the idea. Traits are kind of like, we're gonna have these trait trees that you can fill out. So I figured this was the best way to represent that on the character sheet, where you just self-insert that shit and fill in the ranks. Masteries would be like your capstone feats on the trait tree. So you get those right there. I wanted to keep that on the first page because it's something that, like, I think people lose track of their feats a lot. So having it there would be nice. What up?
It's Drew, bro. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry if this is a Drew that I know. Do I know you, Drew? Or do one of us know you?
So let's continue here. Petticoin and IP. I know Drew.
Oh, you know Drew.
So Petticoin and IP. Sorry, I'm wallet right on the first page. I was gonna put it up top, lost track. Armaments, yada yada. Okay, this is the character sheet. You see the character sheet. Let's go to the caravan sheet. This is the fun stuff.
Yeah.
And I actually want to like move to the NPC cards and stuff, which is like I think what I'm more excited about, the physical set piece idea of like modular, especially after watching Elstragoon's video about like one thing I loved about Whisperstone was like how if it fits in your puzzle for your character sheet, you can use it. Like when he pitched that, I was like, that's fucking seamless. I love that.
Yeah, I like that. Oh, IP improvement points.
Yeah.
I've been playing Cyberpunk, so in my head, improvement was.
Yeah. So the idea is that up here you can see there's like a little black star. This refers to your star rating for your caravan. You always start out as a level 1 caravan. These are just folks who are like maybe starting out, or maybe they've like earned a not great reputation. As you develop more improvement points, you can up your star rating, and that makes you it basically makes you a viable candidate for like bigger contracts with tougher jobs and bigger payouts.
Better, like more people, like higher rated people in your caravan. And this is like a sliding scale that you're going to have to balance. Like we talked a lot about early days was like this idea of nice edge game design where like you're as a player are constantly balancing things to like maintain stuff, which like this is our idea of upkeep is that your rating slides, you lose people, so you have to balance their favor of you, yada yada.
So yeah, I mean like I think that this, I don't know, this is exciting. I like the idea of like having a business entity, the goal, like everything here, one page. I'm hoping that like the resource and the ratings sell through. We will see. Without something saying, hey, write this here.
What I'm very excited for, can we go to NPC cards?
We can. NPC cards. Here we go.
It's Rochi.
If you say so.
Hey everybody, it's me, Rochi, your favorite guy.
That's a Monster Factory, I believe.
Okay, gotcha. I was about to say, I feel like you're referencing something and I don't know what it is.
And for a second, I wasn't sure either. I'm like stoked right now. So like, I don't know if I watched the She-Hulk trailer that premiered today, which got me like wicked amped. I'm very excited for She-Hulk right now. I just got comic book from the library, and then I just started listening to they're doing an in-universe podcast from like in the Marvel comic universe with Squirrel Girl is doing a podcast, and it's her podcast where people call in. It's very good. I started listening to that. I'm all jazzed right now.
Fuck yeah. I'm still behind on fucking, like, I haven't even seen Moon Knight yet. I'm so angry. I just want to watch Moon Knight.
Okay, so NPC cards. One thing that, like, we were talking about that, like, we were talking about we didn't have a lot of a couple, like, 2 weeks ago was, like, GM-facing tool sets.
Yeah.
And I've been able to design that now, and it's very, very exciting. So one of the things that I'm working on designing this weekend is, like, we're calling it a CATS sheet. It's basically a known area threat sheet. And on it, you'll be able to write the area. You'll be able to write, like, the known threats, unknown threats, treasures, and information present. And that will just be on one sheet. But every area will have a ranking, 1 through 10, similar to how your caravan has a ranking. How we have designed NPC stats is that things are tiered 1, 2, or 3. So if you're a tier 1 individual, you get a certain amount of modifier based on your rating. And each rating has a die type associated with it. So the fun thing about this is I don't have to have anything planned out. I could just throw together my area sheet and write it as like a level 3 area and then pull an NPC card and have a tier 1 enemy on there. And I know that my merchant rolls a d6 with no modifiers. And I could just snap that shit together real quick, which as a GM, I really, really like.
Right. That is effectively the dream where, like, it's trying to walk this edge between, like, minimizing the level of prep that you have to do for each individual session, but also still making it feel personal, right? Like you don't want to just say, like, okay, for every NPC just roll like a d6 and, like, that's it, because that's lame. Like you're gonna run into, like, every single person that you come across is going to pose exactly the same level of challenge to you, and that's just not fun. But having something like this where it is modular and there are these set rules for, like, level 1, 2, 3, through 10, and then just slapping an NPC card on it provides, I think, the best of both worlds.
Yeah. Too, and it can save, like, space on that sheet where it's like I don't have to look at this sheet and get overwhelmed to, like, okay, which NPCs are here, yada yada. I can literally draw those out separately and pull them in. And it lets us describe other threats, which is, like, I think something fun we can talk about and start prescribing in our game is, like, environmental threats, which don't have to be, like, necessarily environmental. Like, it could be like a riot, like
Sure.
like a riot is an environmental threat, and instead of, like, making a big combat scene with a million different groups, you can instead do a riot as, like, an environmental thing that has these sorts of things that you're going to have to avoid, or these sorts of things that you're going to have to roll through as you move through.
Absolutely.
Which is, yeah.
Not
that our game isn't made for gang warfare, because it kind of explicitly is.
Yeah, it very much is. But no, but like, every GM, I think, has gone through, like, that experience where, like, you try and do something like a riot, or, like, more attuned to, like, a fantasy game, like, just like a big war, right? A big war, like, staged battle. And, like, you very quickly find, like, fuck, I'm having to do, like, 30 rolls in between my players' stuff, and, like, this, like, it's feeling like a slog on my end. But having a resource like this, I hope, is going to make it so that it doesn't feel that way anymore. And it's just, like, a very simple, here's, like, one move you can do, and, like, then it's back to the players.
Exactly. And, like, having, like, encoding, I think, like, things like warfare and riots into, like, environmental threats, of being like, these would go on, like, unless explicitly you want to do, like, a multi-faction combat scene, these would go on, like, the environmental threat, like, your CATS sheet, and then any standout NPCs you would just throw on top.
Exactly.
I don't know. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It also shows like scalability too, right? Like not everyone is going to perform well in the same arena. A librarian is going to perform broadly better in a university than like a thug might,
For
right?
sure.
Because so.
The other thing that I'm also excited about, and this speaks to the player stuff as well, is I have this, and I'm gonna have it in front of me when like I have y'all in for the playtest next week. It's just like a very easy, like, this is an overview of your players. Like, here's like the species they are. Here are like the, pronouns that they use. Here's like their health nodes. Here's like debts or dangers that they owe, which Corey, I still think is like such a great, like, narrative setting appropriate thing to add on, that like just to get players in by a certain time. No, I do not. Actually, next week will be a session 0. So you can walk into our stream next week having done absolutely nothing. Yes.
I mean, we probably need everyone on at a certain time to get the videos set up.
He's asking to get players. Oh, well, you're not asking about characters. Never mind. Yes, I do. Sorry. I thought you were asking if you needed to get like your character stuff in. You were asking about characters. Okay, cool.
Never mind.
Okay, well there you go. You do not have to make your character prior to this week. We will do that on stream. That'll be the first thing we do as a group next week. And then, assuming we have time, character creation, we ran it a couple of times. It's usually pretty quick. We'll go straight into it. But if not, then we start the actual adventure next week or the week after.
I've also heard about Elstragoon's character. I'm very excited.
Yeah. I couldn't resist. I'm so sorry if you were hoping to drop that bomb yourself. But so excited about that fucking character. While I've got you on, Elstragoon, I would actually, because we are going to have so many people on and I need to get cameras set up. If you do want to be ready to be on Discord, not on stream, but on Discord by like 6:30 next week, that'll give me a good amount of time to like get everybody's cameras situated and make sure that like we've gone through kind of the initial prep before we actually, get on screen and do all that stuff. Half hour should be good for that. Okay, cool. Cool.
We should probably raid somebody, huh?
Say what?
We should probably raid.
Oh yeah, I guess we should, because we actually have... How many people do we have watching the stream right now?
4.
We have 4 viewers right now? Oh my god, get out of here. Who's on? Who should we raid?
I don't know. Like, I'm excited to have... I realize I said this before, and I realize, like, it is pressure on you, but, like, I'm very excited that you get to debut our world. Taylor is my favorite GM. It's true. So yeah, man, like, I don't know. It's just super exciting. I'm bummed out I don't get to play the very French fencer that I decided I was going to make.
Oh my god, I forgot about your guy. We'll get him next time though.
Yeah, man, like, the game is quickly coming to, like, I don't know, it's starting to look like a game. Like, the design principles are starting to come through. Like, the idea of modularity is, like, this emergent thing that, like, has shown through is very important to us. Like, there is, like, a visual design aesthetic that is emerging. Like, I'm into it, man. And we've made friends along the way. It's all about the Elstragoons we made along the way.
I have nothing to add to that. All of that is accurate. It's very weird that this is coming to a head, I think is the feeling for me. Like, we've just done so much prep and talking and writing and revising. And it's weird that this is moving to a state where it's like we're moving into like an actionable place for this. And that is very exciting. That for me is like the moment where it's like, okay, this is like an actual game now, and it's not just like a little pet project anymore.
Yeah. And now we can start moving on to our other games too.
What other games? We don't have other games. That's a lie. Maybe we can talk the guys into a fun game of 3 aliens in a skin suit for our last together session.
We have to fix that.
Yeah.
Rule set.
No, it's perfect.
It is fun. Like, I played it and it was a blast.
Yeah, no, it's tight.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The pinnacle of comedy is 3 kids in a trench coat. So make those aliens and make it human
It's the greatest bit ever told. It's the greatest joke ever told, and we made a game about it. So yeah.
I see this dude like doing some sort of coloring that looks pretty dope.
All right, sick. Sounds good to me. What's the name?
Doom Fruit.
I'm sorry? DOOMFFRUIT?
Yeah. You know, like the fruit.
Okay, one sec. So, raid. Doom Fruit. Why is this not working for me? Fruit in the grim dark of the 41st. Wait, what?
Doom Fruit art.
Doom Fruit art. Okay, one sec. It's not.
Fruit in the grim dark of the 41st millennium. Yes. In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only fruit.
That's the 51st millennium.
I can send you a link.
Oh, no, we're good. We got it.
Anyway,
all right.
I wanted to just say, like, I don't know, this has been... Dude, I've been neck deep in... Dude, I've been playing a home game of Rogue Trader. It's going all right.
Well,
it's turning a corner.
It is turning a corner. Like, I love this setting if, like, everyone's on board with, like, understanding that the setting is, like, you know, no one's taking it seriously. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. It is, like, which is a rough thing to call what it is. But, it's a blast. Like, Rogue Trader's really cool because it's like space piracy and stuff, and like it's got like a lot of Star Trek DNA into it. It's good. It's a good time.
But yeah,
I love Beastman 40K. But more importantly, I wanted to say thank you to Taylor, and I wanted to say thank you to El Dragoon. Like, I don't know, Taylor. Thank you for like jumping on board with fucking my insane ideas always, which is wild. And not sending the police at me for the late
I think we're about to raid. Sorry, bye.
Bye.
I didn't mean to. It just started doing it. What the fuck? Okay. I guess once you do the raid, it just like it gives you a certain amount of time. And what the fuck? I'm so sorry to cut off your heartfelt speech. That was like the worst place for it.
You, Corey.
I was like, it started counting down from 5, and I was just saying like, oh fuck, I hope he wraps this up really quick.
Hold on, this guy's talking to us.
Are you amenable to damned fruit?
Yeah, do you ever stream?
Huh? Wait, what?